Hold that thought.
Sharon, can you check the website? Check it real quick, see if it's the live feed. And it might have to change it. Hold that thought. See if I can mute it. Can you turn your volume up? Let me see if I can mute. I'm gonna leave it on if I can mute. Okay. What time is it?
It's 4:10. So is the link posted automatically on the page?
Test.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. How are you, sir?
It was money, and I just assumed that was the one that it's attached. The one they have.
Because I read it down when you get it.
Because it's not also.
As long as you take this on paper.
I know.
How's everyone?
Seven sixty-seven.
931.
767.
Thank you. Yeah, there it is right there. Good. Well, we'll get started here in 2 seconds. Madam Attorney, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. Kind of put you on the big screen. And if not, as long as we can hear you.
Sounds good.
We just kicked it off. I just said good.
When in doubt, just turn it on and off. All right. All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, April 1st, 2024. This is the City of Camilla work session. We're in the Honorable Mary Jo Haywood Council chambers. And at this time, Council, is there a motion to approve the agenda for tonight? Motion to approve. Second. A motion has been properly second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. At this time, do we have any speaker appearances? Any speaker appearances? Yes, sir. Let's fix it. Come on. Did you want to have a speaker appearance?
Good.
Oh, yes, sir.
I thought you told someone else.
Oh, no, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Good to see y'all again. First of all, I just said, thank you to the mayor and his council for such a job well done in this city. I see a lot of progress being made, and I praise the Lord for that. But I was reading the scripture the other day, and I thought about you, Mayor. May I read it? Sure. It comes from Ezekiel 37:1. Listen close. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley of dry bones. And caused me to pass by them around and about, and behold, there was very many in the open valley. And lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay my sinew upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, shaking, and the bones came together, bone to this bone. And when I beheld to the center, and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy to the wind, prophesy, son of man, and said to the wind, Thus said the Lord God, Come from the full wind, O breath, and breath upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied. He commanded me, and the breath came into them. They lived and stood on their feet as a exceeding great army. When you came into the middle, I'm sure that what you saw. Dry bone. You wonder, how can I revive this city? But God put his love in you. You have succeeded. You got a lot more ventures to, that conquer. And with God, I know it's going to happen. So thanks for putting the dry bone together, where we can rally and shake again. And enjoy the great thing that this city has denied us for so long. Thank you, Council, and all of my own.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other speaker appearances?
Yes, I'm Julie Tucker, and I haven't been here in a while. I live at 178 Court Drive, so I appreciate the opportunity to come and just get some things off my chest. So that's what I would like to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate the gentleman that, a few weeks, it's been a while back, talked about, the Camilla massacre and thanking you for putting the plaque up. So I'm glad that that was done, because maybe the families that were involved in it, because that was horrendous. So hopefully maybe the families that happened to can, begin to heal, even though it's been all these many years, because that's been quite some time ago. And the other thing I feel concerned about is that we still have all the gentlemen that are holding a grudge or holding hate in their heart that we had to tear down a perfectly good building, and the gym is what I'm talking about. And I hope at some point that we can that this city can get past that hate based on somebody's color. And the other thing that I'm glad for is that, well, the attorney several times has mentioned about supersedis and that it still applies. But for me, it's a constant reminder of that some of these men didn't live here. And
I'm going to stop you right there, ma'am. Again, what you can't do is, what you're saying is not true. And while supersedis is in effect, that statement you just made is not accurate. You're more than welcome, Ms. Tucker, to say anything that you would like to say, ma'am, except for that.
okay, well, one of them moved back here so that he could qualify and get reelected, and that's good for him.
Okay.
And so.
All right, so final warning, Ms. Tucker.
Mhm.
Final warning. If you have something to say, and again, this is a privilege, and as per our rules, when they, what you're stating is not true. And I can't allow that to happen, all right? However, we truly appreciate you being here and wanting to speak. So with that being said, go ahead.
Okay, and I hate that you put the Boys and Girls Club where you did, because I've seen the moat that's around it. So at some point, y'all are gonna have to deal with the water that collects when it rains in that area, that maybe it could have been put on a little bit higher area. And I know y'all have taken care of that, y'all saw the water just like I did, but that's a big concern of where that was put. So, thank you for your time.
Appreciate you always. So, thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
All right. Any other speaker appearances? All right, well, thank you, everybody. All right, so we'll move right into, our, first action item for tonight. And again, everybody, these are items that will be voted on, this evening. So, council, in, your packet, or the electronic version. Just give me 1 second here. Council, do you guys have the document in front of you
Yes.
for the MEAG? So,
Yes.
all right. So just for the public to know, so as we've been talking about for at least a couple of years now, in a very open and public way, every year, the city of Camilla receives what MEAG calls end of year supplement. It's an end of year supplement. And basically, what they're saying is, hey, City of Camilla, every month that you get a bill, the City of Camilla gets a bill too. And it's when you pay your bill is when we pay our bill, right? And typically, the electric bill for the City of Camilla runs somewhere around $900 to $1 million per month. That's our idea, every month. At the end of the year, MEAG, who we buy our electricity from, says, hey, listen, we owe you a refund. And we're gonna send it back to you. On average, that refund has been about $320,000 a year. This year, it was $564,000. And without even knowing that, without knowing what the number was going to be, this is one of the reasons why, as you will see later on in this meeting, why I recommended to the council that we offer another round of electric bill credits to the citizens of Camilla. Because just looking at the raw numbers, and I look at this stuff every single month, that we're gonna be all right, and there is no need for us to try to, probably couldn't do 300 like we did the first time in Camilla's history, but surely about $100 a month, we can handle that. Especially if it was gonna be about 300,000. Well, come to find out, it's 564,000. And I wanna point something else out, to the council. First, let me do this. So council, we've already done what's called an evergreen statement to MEAG. And basically what that means is, unless we change it, if you don't ever hear from us ever again, this is what you're gonna do forever. They call that evergreen.
Hmm.
So they send this thing to us every year, and they ask us, what do you want to do with that money? Well, it's already evergreen that we want you to put it in the municipal trust. Keep it up there with you, put it in our trust. But as mayor, what I like to do is to bring this back to the council every single year to say that this is what we truly want to do. And you see here where it says, flexible operating account, short-term portfolio. What we're saying, we're gonna send 100% of that money to the MEAG Trust. All of it. And that's where that money that we've been drawing down, that's where that's coming from. So 2 years ago, roughly, we pulled down $4 million. Had a public hearing about that and all that. A lot of conversation, right? That same year, we got 600,000. The year after that, we got about 300,000. That's $1 million. And then we got 564,000 this year. So the point that I'm making to you, of the $4 million that we drew down, we got about a third of that back. And we didn't even have to raise your taxes on, not raise your taxes, we didn't have to raise your rates on that. In other words, this money was coming back to us anyway. And if we did nothing, you would have got $400,000 back in about 5 to 6 years anyway, without doing anything. And this is the point that some of us were trying to make about 2 years ago. And as of the end of February, at the end of February, everybody see that? You see that? So as of basically March 1st, so about a month ago, you can do the math there. The flexible account has $4.3 million in it. And the generated trust, that's the restricted amount. We can only use that for power generation. That's it. Only power generation. We can't bring it down here, build Boys and Girls Clubs or any of that kind of stuff. You can only use that basically to pay our light. There's $3.5 million in there. So let's do the math. 3.5 plus 4.3. Is that 7.6? There's 7.8. Almost $8 million. You're still sitting in the VA trust. Now, you already brought down 4,000. You're building a brand new City of Camilla Resource Center that will house the Boys and Girls Club. That $4 million is already here. So you got almost $8 million. Not that 5. I just talked about that 564. That's not counted yet. So you got about $8.3 million. 8.4. Just sitting there to be used for the citizens of Camilla. Oh, and by the way, you got another $9 million sitting right here in the bank. Anybody want to do math on that? 9 plus 8? This is why the majority of the council do what we do. Because in the past, this kind of information, frankly, in a deliberate way anyway, wasn't shared with the public.
Amen.
Even though it's public information. There's something else I want to show to you. So, this is what our bill looks like. And, hold on, let me download. Pull it up. All right. You see right there where it says variable charges? So we've been talking a lot about Plant Vogel, right? How, you know, we gotta watch out for Plant Vogel, spending all the money. And, ain't gonna be no money left. Now, we got 8.5 set up the MCT already. But I want to show this to you because this is extremely special. You see where it says Project M? That's the nuclear plant. I want you to come over where it says variable charges. You see how much that is? Can y'all see that? It's for the folks that can't see it at home. That's $27,900. So almost $30,000 that we pay in variable costs as it relates to this nuclear energy that we're getting. Okay? I remember back in December, we got a nice little Christmas surprise. We just didn't build these nuclear energy plants just to be building them. The federal government has said, hey, listen, with you guys building these nuclear plants, you're reducing the carbon footprint, not only in this country, but in this world. So you're going to get credits for that. We're going to pay you for that. Well, we got our first batch at the end of December. It was about $186,000. That doesn't include the 564 we just got. Okay? The idea was, we're not going to give that to you in a lump sum every year. We're going to try to give it to you monthly. Everybody tracking me on that? We're going to give it to you monthly. These energy credits for this nuclear deal. Because for a long time, all folks been talking about is how much it's going to cost. But the conversation about how much we're benefiting from it, that conversation has been very rare over the last 15 years. But because Vogtle 3 is online and Vogtle 4 is right behind it, prior to getting the energy credits kicking in, we was paying $30,000 a month in variable costs. Everybody saw that, right? Let's see what last month's bill had to say about variable costs. Did everybody see it? On the variable cost? That's $1,400 for $30,000. So that's roughly, if this holds true, that's about $20,000 a month. You multiply 20,000 times 12. It's $240,000. Potentially coming back to this in energy credits. Ladies and gentlemen, I recognize that there are some, not a whole lot, by my count, about 17 million, that do all they can. And say all they can about this city and its operation. As I've said many times before, I don't really want you to concentrate on what folks are typing. Just believe what your eyes are showing. Amen. All of this is public information. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you something that's a secret. You're doing okay, no? You're doing just fine. All right. With that, counsel, I wanted to give that background as we get into what we want to do with this year's summit. I'm recommending that we continue to let it head to the MCT if we need it. We know how to get it down this way. But I recommend that we do it that way. But at the end of the day, that will be this body's determination. So, at this time, council, is there a motion to, accept, the MEAG guarantee settlement of $564,000 and designate that money to remain in the flexible account, at the, municipal competitive trust? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion is properly second. Any other discussion?
Again, just what is the final amount? We'll probably get to this at the utility credit.
Yes, sir. Sure, I'll follow that. Okay, good deal. Good deal. All right. We have motions to properly second. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right. Council, item 2 is the 2024 Juneteenth poster. And all right. Council, this is the proposed Juneteenth poster for 2014 here in the city of Camilla. It's happening June 15, 2024, downtown Camilla. Starts at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Got some good entertainers, it looks like. But you know, we got our symbol down there, and we represent it. So it's our responsibility, or highly recommend that before we release this to the public, that the city council approve or disapprove this particular poster head out to the masses. So what I'll do, council, at this time is ask that there a motion to approve the 2024 proposed Juneteenth poster as submitted. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion that's properly second. Any discussion? All right, it's gonna be a good time, it looks like. Downtown Camilla, we're gonna be wide open for vendors. More of that information is coming, down the road, but we are well on the way, getting there. So, any other comments? Questions? All right. Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call vote.
Councilman Burley,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer,
Yes.
All right, thank you, council. Motion carries. All right. Item 3, Autism Walk, 2024. As you recall, council, at our last meeting, we allocated $500 for this, but we wanted to vote on it this month because it's closer to the month to the walk itself. So at this time, turn it over to our Mayor Pro Tem, see if you have any extra words to pass on that.
No, I don't, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all very much, City Manager and my colleagues, and also the awesome citizen that we have. We know that autism is it's around this whole United States of America. And we know that it impacts people regardless of their ages and their ethnic background and their social background. We know that it affects all of them. But I'm extremely happy to be able to want to support this event here, which will be held April the 20th, 2024, from 11 until 2. And we're looking to have a great crowd. I know I've seen some people out there and some have been there. It's a great event to be able to collaborate and be able to show the community that we do care. And I think this is a smart thing to do as a city, to come together and support our citizens here with this disease, which is autism. And
That's about all I'd like to say.
All right, and you said it great, my friend, thank you. Any other, comments before we get into the vote? And council, what I would request is, if approved, what I would like to do is move the proclamations to the end of our agenda where I will read those into the record. Again, this is being approved tonight, recognizing Autism Acceptance Month in the city of Camilla. So at this time, council, is there a motion? You're all right. No, sir. You're good. Is there a motion to approve the proclamation here in the city of Camilla, naming April Autism Acceptance Month here in the city of Camilla? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move. Second.
A motion properly second. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
going back to the.
Thank you.
Sponsorship.
thank you, my good friend. Thank you, my good friend. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Council, in conjunction with, item 3, with that, approval of the proclamation in the city of Camilla for Autism Month, in the month of April 2024. I'm asking for unanimous consent, and in addition to the approval of that came with a $500 sponsorship from the city of Camilla to be paid from the ARPA fund. Is there any objection? All right, good. Madam Attorney, I just want to make sure that in terms of the parliamentary procedure, asking for unanimous consent and adding that to the previous motion, was that good to go?
Yes, that sounds good to go.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. All right, item 4, first reading of the package store ordinance, and you should have a copy there, council, and what I will do is do this just real quick so that you know. What I wanted to do, this ordinance came about of a referendum that was passed in November. Look at it. Okay, perfect. All right. So this was a result of the referendum. The citizens of Camilla went to the polls in November of 2023. And I'm happy to say that the majority of this council, last January, right now, we've got our citizens are driving to other counties, even a sister city down in College, to buy their spirits. Well, this election in November, now saying that those tax dollars will now stay in the city of Camilla. They're not going to go to another county. They're not going to go to Pella. That might be one of the reasons. So the point that I'll make is a majority of this council made a decision that our citizens shouldn't have to travel if they want to have an adult beverage or a package sale. And I know that's gonna cost other cities revenue. But the majority of this council said last, we're gonna give the people of Camilla an opportunity to say if they wanna have package sales in the city. And what I wanna do, we'll blow this up. The voters, in a record election, we had almost 1,500 people come vote in this last election in the city of Camilla. I think we have about 3,500 registered voters, somewhere in that neighborhood. 1,500 of them came out and voted in this last election. When we asked them the question, do you want package sales in the city of Camilla? 1,057 said yes. 416 said no. And just for the record, I want to do the percentage of that vote. 1057 plus 416 is 1473. 1473, everybody got that number? 1473. So 1057 divided by 1473. Okay, so 72% of the voters said we want package sales in the city of Camilla. Not Owens, not the council, the citizens said they want package sales in the city of Camilla. And that's why in front of you, council, you have the proposed ordinance, first reading tonight regarding it. And we can get into the details of it here shortly, but I think it'll be prudent if I just go ahead at this particular point and ask, is there a motion to approve the package store ordinance as submitted, an ordinance of the city of Camilla, Georgia, relating to the package sales of distilled spirits to amend Title IX, Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances relating to alcoholic beverages, to provide a process for issuing licenses to businesses engaged in the package sales of distilled spirits for off-premises consumption, to provide for regulations related to the operation and location of businesses engaged in the retail sale of alcoholic beverages, to provide an effective date to repeal conflicting laws, and for other lawfully related purposes. Council, is there a motion to approve this ordinance as submitted and waiving the second reading, if passed unanimously? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Have a motion properly second. Any discussion? All right. So just for the council and for the public, this resolution or this ordinance authorizes the amendment of the city's existing, so we already have an alcohol ordinance here in the city of Camilla. Only thing is, you can't sell, off-premise distilled spirits, liquor. Can't do it. The only way that can happen is that the people have to say that they want it. And then we can go ahead and start to build this document, which we have today. The citizens approved such sale in a referendum held last November 7, 2023. The referendum authorizes the package sale of distilled spirits for off-premises consumption. And again, as we just demonstrated, this passed by virtue of a deal of about 72% approval. And again, you can already do wine and beer here, but this is for the sale of alcohol. More important, this is a revenue source that has never been realized here in the city of Camilla before. And we're hoping somewhere in the neighborhood of $80,000 to $100,000, if not more, of revenue coming back to the citizens of Camilla. And again, this is extra money that prevents us from having to raise property taxes, to raise utility rates, this to hire more employees, to pay our employees more. This is the idea of creatively bringing more revenue into the city without costing the citizens anything more. Again, as I've said before, other counties and other cities have been doing this, and they've been reaping the benefit of this Camilla tax revenue. With the passing of this ordinance, that ends, that stops. And if this vote is unanimous, that stops tonight. Inside of this ordinance is also, so there's going to be we're going to issue 3 licenses here in the city of Camilla. 3 of them. The only way that it goes to 4 is that another 3,000 people have to live here, have to move here. So we are making sure that we don't have a liquor store in every corner. So we're going to start with 3 licenses. That number will not change unless our population grows by another 3,000. Okay? If we receive more than 3 applications, we're going to go into a lottery system. And the 3 licenses that are picked from that lottery system will be who will get those licenses. So no one on this council will be able to dictate who gets a license. That'll be left to chance, if you will, if we receive more than 3 applications. So that's pretty much the larger overview, but let me defer to our city attorney, also city attorney, Attorney Thompson, to see if there's anything that she would like to add.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I think you spoke to the alcohol ordinance very eloquently. Again, the way that it's drafted, it would allow for 3 licenses, and we intend to work with the city to implement a very structured and kind of thought out process, conduct that selection process or to provide for those businesses that will be competing for those 3 spots, if you will. And like you said, it will be done in a, unanimous fashion, in a fashion where it's not at all, there's no selection that we would necessarily have to make on our own. So we are equipped and ready to assist you with that, that process to bring in those 3 businesses within the city of Camilla. And again, you spoke to the ordinance pretty well and in pretty fair detail. If I had to add anything, I would also just add that, of course, as you know, your alcohol is also being regulated on the state level as well. So, what may or may not be directly spoken to in the ordinance, you'll find in state law, and that's where a lot of the references, that's where we'll come from, and that's where we have to take our guidance from, is the state law as well. And so this is again just a step to update the code, to enhance it a little bit, and then also just bring it up to the vision of how the direction that the city can move forward with now, as with enacting the law to bring distilled package stores or stores or businesses that will be selling distilled spirits. So that's all I have to say about it.
All right. Appreciate that, Madam Attorney. Council, any questions for the attorney, or any comments from the council?
For me, I just wanted to confirm, maybe what I'm reading, in American text too. Just in our discussion with this, one thing that I wanted to make, I guess important in this ordinance is that we had some guidance to, I guess, help us deter placement of these package stores too. And the mayor mentioned that earlier, but up under licensing on page 10, and up under subsection B, speaking, when people are not eligible for license, numbers 4, 5, and 6, just confirming that, these clauses are in place, if the council sees, we may not want a package store directly in the neighborhood, or we may not want a package store in a general location. So just confirming if clauses 4, 5, and 6 allow us that discretion.
Absolutely, my friend, and I think even more than that, Councilman, and as always, great questions. When these licenses come for the approval of this council, these applications should have, when we get to the nitty-gritty of it anyway, should have where's the planned location. And we have the authority to approve or disapprove those, that license and as listed here in this ordinance on that purpose or for that reason, if you will. That the majority of this council says, hey, listen, where this proposed license or this package store is going, doesn't work for us, if you will. And I'm talking specifically, item, to your point, number 4, for a location not suitable to the judgment and discretion of the mayor and council because traffic congestion, general character of the neighborhood, or by reason and effect with such establishments would have in the adjacent and surrounding properties or in the neighborhood. So that is fairly broad, and we would have that an opportunity to do that. Great question.
So
And Mr.
No, go ahead, please, Madam Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was gonna also add that, these requirements, like I was saying, is led by state law. And so there are a certain amount of, certain number of feet that package stores have to, stay, in distance from certain types of, organizations such as schools, churches, agricultural treatment facilities. So that's gonna be something that's gonna govern how these package stores are situated. And another thing that I'm sure you all will be kind of working hand in with this alcohol ordinance is the zoning code. So as, I'm sure there are requirements set forth in your zoning code as well. So as, these businesses are kind of given the appropriate approvals, the planning and zoning department, you also see certain requirements that are probably already set forth in your zoning code where that will allow for package stores to go in certain places or, alcohol or, businesses that sell alcohol or whatever have you. And if that's not there, we have to update it as well.
Indeed. All right, thank you, Madam Attorney. Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I was gonna also add, all of this has to be done before they can be put into the lottery, right?
No, the approval of the ordinance. Yes, sir, absolutely, yes, sir. Great question, yes, sir. This is stage 1 right here.
I think he was talking about the application, or the applicant that applied for the license.
Yeah, the applicant that is applying for the license,
Yeah.
they have to meet all of these requirements prior to going into the, lottery, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, what I'm saying is, we're not gonna have them, they get selected in the lottery and then they don't meet all of these requirements.
No, so, and therein lies the beauty of the lottery system, and that is a great question. So, the application will have some very specific questions. And I believe that during that process, just like we do for the folks, get the background check from the police chief, all of that will happen. So only folks that are qualified will go in that batch, if you will. So if we get 15 applications, and Madam Attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, let's say we end up getting 15 deals, 15 applications. prior to going into the badge, and I think even if it's not in here, I think this is something that we're authorized to do. We would say, police chief, here are 15 applicants. Let's do the standard background check, all the other stuff that goes with it. All 15 come back clean, all 15 go in the bucket. 10 come back clean, 10 go in the bucket. But let me out there, Madam Attorney, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great, kind of consideration that Councilman Burley has made, and you've kind of followed it with the practical application of the law. You know, in order for us to select, eligible applicants, they have to be eligible. So I think, in thinking this through, you want to make sure that you're putting, you're putting parameters around, who's going to be able to be selected in the lottery process. I mean, again, it can be done on that end, and I'm also thinking, maybe there is also alternate kind of answer where, the businesses are put into the lottery process, and then maybe you have a couple, kind of in the queue just in case.
Yeah.
The first three don't, match up that way, everyone's kind of given, a fair chance once they get through the lottery process to meet the requirements. So I think that's something we kind of need to think through, but I think it possibly could work both ways, so yeah.
Indeed, the kind of filling the mayor pro tem version of, there's no need to go in the bucket if you don't meet the qualifications, and so it's one way or the other, right? Whether you go in first or go in as a backup, and I think the Madam Attorney is spot on that maybe a hybrid of that would be that we authorize 3 qualified people, right? However, when it's time to put the brick and mortar together, you come to pay your application fee or your license fee, you don't have the money for it, or you change your mind, who you were going to partner with decided to pull out, that we still have a batch of folks on the side that are qualified that can move up into that slot. I think that was kind of what you were talking about too, right, Madam Attorney?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, so that's good, deal.
So just in that respect and that regard, definitely when we come to even the selecting, when someone drops off or someone for whatever reason go out of business, do we have to restart the lotto process? How does that, the next person just step up in the lotto? And I guess what will be the second level of that question is the transparency part of the lotto. How is that going to be performed?
Yeah, I think that is a great compound question, my friend. I think the first is we can make the decision that here is let's take that number 15. Here's that group of 15. Let's say all 15 are qualified. We do the lottery. I say we do it live. We were thinking about going to malls and rolling the deal. You know what I mean? That 3 comes out. But we have a secondary system where we rate the other applicants if we have to. So we pick 3, so there's 12 left. We have a lottery system a secondary lottery system, where that 12 is rated from 1 to 12 based on that same system. Somebody falls off the 3, we'll call the next one in line, say you're still interested. Yes, we are. All right, good deal. Here's your opportunity. Let's move. So I think we could probably have a lottery within a lottery, if you will, for the secondary, what I would call the secondary market, if you will. So, yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think I would love to see that level of transparency, but it's also level of transparency to the applicants, which we anticipated that there would be a lot of applicants to apply for this liquor license here in the city of Camilla. I would definitely say that this is one that ordinance that I'm so related to, bringing back to the people, that have voted, the 72% that did vote to say, hey, I'm tired of driving out of town, because I want to enjoy my pleasure, however that may be at the house or out in the dock. I'm just so elated just to know that we're here right now, that we got this ordinance on the table and in a position to be passed and approved, because it's been a long time. It's been a long journey. We have heard constituents ask over and over again, when is this license ordinance? We don't vote it on, now when it's gonna get here? We ready to go. So I'm just so elated to be here in this place right now, and thank you, dear Mark and Ashley, for doing what you are doing so diligent and taking this seriously and moving as swiftly as you did, along with our staff here at the city of Manila. Excellent job of executing this, and letting people know that you get it. So yes, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, our recollection, we have a motion that's been properly seconded. Again, just to remind the public, if there's a unanimous vote tonight, this ordinance is in effect tonight. If it's not unanimous, we have to have what's called a second reading. And that has to happen, that'll probably happen next Monday, if we have to do that. So that's how ordinances work. They're a little bit different than resolutions. So, all right, so any other comments? All right, Madam Clerk, do a roll call.
Councilman Bartley,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman Palmer,
No.
All right. So the first reading, and again, everybody, and this is a great deal, because if you have, I know some folks are watching and say, hold up, but you have 4 votes. You have 4 votes. What's the problem? Ordinances are different. For the first reading, you have to read ordinances twice, but you can waive the second reading if everybody agrees. Because everyone did agree before then, we now got to push it to a second reading next Monday. And all that is required then is only 4 votes. Okay. So, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and place this item as an action item for next Monday's meeting, April 8th, for the second reading. All right, thank you, guys. All right, Plant Vogel tour. All right, so everybody, we talk about Plant Vogel. Well, Plant Vogel is up and running, and the folks that built that thing is saying, hey, listen, for those of you, the 49 cities in MEAG, which Camilla is one of them, one of 49, we want you to come out and see what you're paying for. Come check out this new nuclear facility. And we have 4 council members that are available to go take a tour around the 22nd of this month. Vogel is up near Augusta in that area up that way. And but here's the thing. Our travel policy does not cover this type of travel. We have some blanket travel for GMA type events, Georgia Municipal Association, but we don't have that for MEAG. And so what I want to do, council, so we don't have to keep doing this piecemealing, if you will, and because of the stuff that we're doing in the city, all of the stuff that we're doing in the city, there's a lot happening in terms of travel. And again, all of this, right as that ordinance we just voted on, I went to a meeting up in Moultrie. It's a GMA class. sitting up there in this class, listening. And then the instructor says, hey, if you guys want to have a referendum on package sales in your city, you can do a resolution or an ordinance. Really? So I'm just tapping my watch, waiting for this class to end. I got back down here to Camilla, went to the city manager and said, guess what? They said we can do a resolution to get this thing on the ballot. Went to the then election superintendent, the awesome Sheriff Ford, got this thing worked out, and because of that class, package stores are coming to the city of Camilla for the first time. That's how, when we're doing this stuff correctly, that's what getting this training and this information can do to your city. So what I'm proposing, council, is that we amend our travel policy to include all MEAG-related events. If it's an event and you want to go and MEAG is sponsoring it, go ahead. This is the bread and butter of our economy here in the city of Camilla. When I talk about the bread and butter, I'm talking about we feed our general fund out of our electric fund. And any information related to that very important fund or book of business, and nobody asked any questions about, if MEAG is putting it on, that means it's important. It's good information is going to be there, one way or the other. And so council, with that said, council, is there a motion to amend the city of Camilla travel policy to include all MEAG-related events? Is there a motion?
Motion to amend.
Second. Motion's properly second. Any discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, your roll call.
Councilman Garland,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer,
Yes.
Item 6, proclamation. Did I jump ahead again?
No.
Oh, for the proclamation. Okay, got you. All right, so we're at child abuse. Number 7. All right, council. As you drive around town, everybody should see these silver and blue spinners. That is to help educate and recognize and to acknowledge child abuse in our society and preventing it. And in the month of April, that's when we call upon our citizenry to do everything that you possibly can to identify, protect, and prevent child abuse, not only in our community, but wherever you see it. And I think this is a tremendous, we do this every year, and it's it's an awesome thing. So, council, what I would ask is that, is there a motion to approve proclamation here in the city of Camilla recognizing April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month here in the city of Camilla? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion properly second. Any discussion? And council, what I'll do with this is move it to the end of the agenda and read it to the record. All right, we have a motion to the properly second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, item 8, resolution number 2024-0401, GFG loan, lead service line inventory. Let's see, man.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Originally for all the engineering fees, and you probably saw in your packet, it was $338,757. Well, we got the grant of $194,500. That left us, as you see in the packet, $144,257. But then we got loan forgiveness of $93,767, leaving us a balance of this entire project, $50,490.
Indeed. Any questions for the city manager regarding this?
When you approve the resolution, can you get authorization for you to sign contract?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Any other comments? All right, council, is there a motion to approve resolution number 2024-04-01-1, G for loan, Lima Sierra Lima India 202041, lead service line inventory, and authorize the mayor to sign all documents to facilitate this loan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion properly second, any discussion? In 2024, we're still talking about replacing lead pipes and this type of thing, and this is gonna really make sense here in a little bit when we have another discussion, but it just goes to show you in terms of the infrastructure, that building our infrastructure is an ongoing thing. It's ongoing. But I will yield on that. Any other comments or questions? All right, council, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you.
All right, item 9, board appointments. All right, so council, there are, and for the public, there's a couple, or at least one appointment, and the Housing Authority Board is one where the mayor makes those appointments, but the majority, if not the rest of our appointments are made here by the council. We have some appointments that need to be made, but right now, those particular boards, they still have a quorum, so there's no rush into that. But I sent out an email, or the city manager, we can identify. I know Cheryl's real good with that in terms of who needs what, to send that list out and maybe get you guys to think about any potential candidates. But tonight, for those other boards. But tonight, council, I want to bring up the library board. So traditionally, the library board has two. The city of Camilla provided two council members, or two appointments rather, and they both come from the council. We have a vacancy now, and the mayor, by virtue of my position, I'm on that council. I'm on that board. Council, what I'm recommending this evening is that we, because the reduction in funding to the library, we reduced funding from $40,000 to $15,000, and because that reduction is permanent, that's not changing. Because that's not happening, and because we are not saying $40,000 anymore and only $15,000, that, from my estimation, unless there's a conflict with the bylaws over in the library board, which I'm not sure that there is, but I think going forward, we need to reduce that number to 1, considering we're going with $15,000 permanently going forward. So at this time, council, is there a motion to reduce the number of board appointments to the library board for the city of Camilla from 2 to 1, with the primary reason being the reduction of funding related to that. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion been properly second. Any discussion? Council, I want to take this opportunity to address an issue that came about apparently last week or the week before. And I want to be very careful here on this particular subject as it relates to our awesome sister city down the road, Pelham, Georgia. Good folks down there. Great community. Awesome council. But apparently, the decision was made by that council. Well, let me back up. There was a discussion related to, and in reading in the so-called newspaper, and I say that because I don't give a whole lot of credence to that particular publication. So, because I wasn't there at the council meeting, not really sure what the words were or whatever the case may be, but I haven't heard anybody from the Pelham City Council deny what I read, and that was that because we reduced funding for the library, they decided to vote against our request to amend our comprehensive plan. First thing, there is no municipality on the face of this earth that dictates anything over here. Zero. Nothing. The city of Camilla submitted our CDBG grant application, I think today, Friday. We approved the change to our comp plan. Let me say that again. This city council voted to approve our comp plan. And it was submitted and accepted by DCA over the weekend. Now, when you read the so-called paper, it said it was for our request to update our comp plan. This is the problem that I have with this publication, because that's half the truth. Let me tell you what the other side of that was. Nobody asked, and you didn't read it in that so-called paper. Why was the city of Camilla asking for the neighboring cities to amend the comp plan? The reason why we made the request is to improve our scoring, to get this $1 million CDBG grant to replace the sewer system in one of our neighborhoods. Now, the CDBG grant is a very specific grant because only moderate to low-income communities can qualify. Poor people. And this is in District 1. So this is Mayor Pro Tem Burley's, Councilman Morgan's, and Ventura Councilman Pollard's district. This is a majority African-American community with moderate to low income. And what we ask our neighboring cities to do is say, hey, listen, there's a grant out here for $1 million to help improve the sewer system in this community. We don't need a letter or any of that kind of stuff. You just vote. Say that you support that. Pretty much fairly symbolic, if you will. Whether you vote for it or vote against it doesn't stop us from approving it and submitting it. So you didn't vote against updating our comp plan. What you voted against was a community of citizens with low to moderate income to improve their sewer system. I want to make sure that the record is straight on that. And here's the rub. The vote meant nothing. It impacted nothing. But the record is forever and ever etched in stone in your minutes. Now, as I said at the onset, we love the folks down in Kentucky. That's good folks down there. And I had also read in this so-called paper that they took the drastic step. No. Step. No. The step was unprecedented. Hey, to another city. We don't like the discretionary budget decisions that you make. So we're gonna punish you. You gonna do what we say. And my granddad used to say, no, sir. Ain't happening. And here's my recommendation going forward. I'm speaking to the library board, which I'm a member of. Man, y'all might put your energy into figuring out what your programming is going to be for fiscal year 24-25. Our budget season is coming up here in the next 8 weeks. And that $15,000 or less is going to be dependent upon what type of programming you're talking about now. Folks really need to start focusing on that. But as I've said before, this is America. You can put your energy into anything you want to. I'm just letting you know that train has left the station now. Start getting ready to come and tell us about how you're going to spend that $15,000 or less in fiscal year 24-25. And if the board decides they don't want the $15,000, just let us know that. That's not a problem. I hope all of this is crystal clear. Going forward. This city council will not and cannot be leveraged for nothing by anybody. Period. Any other comments?
I was asked that, kind of redundant, but, does this city council, does this body have any effects on what our neighbors city, how they govern and what they do? Even as it relates to just the, support. By any means, do we have any effect on Pelham residents or citizens in the city of Pelham, of its government, by making this move?
No, sir, not at all. And let me add, folks might say, well, Owens, look at him. why, you're talking, what's really going on? Listen, everybody, like I told you before, we love the folk down. We do. We love it. We love it. We will continue to provide the majority of the recreation facilities for the whole county. Camilla will continue to do that. The city of Camilla will continue to do things like we did last year when Pelham and other surrounding cities are dealing with the youth gang problem in our region. The city of Camilla said, you know what, there's a program out there to help us track gang activity and identify these folks that are bringing that kind of violence to our community. The problem was that program needed $100,000 to get started. City of Camilla said, you know what, we'll pay the $100,000 for everybody to use it. We'll continue to do stuff like that. We'll continue to build splash parks for everybody to come enjoy in the entire region. We will continue to put bond offers out there that will spend $5 million to build a new gym and not ask the county or any other city for a single dime. We will continue to put up $3.6 million or $2.6 million, nearly $3 million to build a new community resource center that will house the Boys and Girls Club, everybody's kids, that feeds 200 kids every single day. And for many of those kids, that's the last meal that they're going to get for the day. And for some, the only. We'll continue to do that here in the city of Camilla. We'll continue to do that. So even though we have no impact on what they do over there, just like they have no impact on what we do over here, we will continue to support not only our county partners, but our city partners with our tremendous resources over here in the city of Camilla.
Just speaking of one of those resources, Mayor, I think it's important to know that when I think about in today's time in technology, when we just talked about our airport, and the technology that is out in our airport, how we communicate. The city of Camilla. When we talk about a new radio tower, it was the city of Camilla. And everybody around us, even the county and all the other municipalities, they benefit. Being able to effectively communicate across lines. We talk about 911, we talk about police, we talk about fire, we talk about the safety of your community. It was the city of Camilla said, enough is enough with old technology. It's time to introduce something new that is better what is going on here. Because the old stuff is not working. There was no other municipality willing to say, hey, we got it, and we're going to do it. And the city of Camilla ain't reached out to say, not to one. What do you have? What do you have? But the great leadership that see the better good of all.
Amen.
See, we come time after time, but we don't acknowledge those things. There's a lot of people benefit. But we go around and keep talking, and I'm with you with the 17 that still carry around this mess. But won't talk about all the great things. Won't come to this table, won't come to this body with recommendations on how we can improve. What can we do together? But it's always rah, rah, rah. Y'all ain't doing that. It's fake up here. Oh, this is real business here. Business here, we don't take lightly. So continue to go on, but we're going to continue with the records. Because they're going to speak for themselves. We're going to continue with the law. Because they're going to speak for itself. Regardless of how you may see it. Let's start to talk about those things. How we can move forward. Because I can guarantee you, if you're coming with some excellent ideas coming to the table, I'm willing to sit down and listen to you. to give back.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. And what you just heard is the second longest serving member on this council. He brought up some doggone great points, especially related to the airport and radio tower. All right. Any other comments? The last thing I want to touch on, part of that conversation where I read in the so-called newspaper was, I read that one of the council members said something about the service delivery strategy and us pulling out. That was the reason, right? That in the reduction of that money, you violated the service delivery strategy. See, here's the problem when folks make those kind of statements. You just go through the service delivery strategy, which I've done. This is the latest version. I don't know if y'all can see that out there. See right there, Mitchell County Service Library. This is our agreement with the other cities and with the county. Hey, county, you do this, we'll do this. Hey, other city, you do that, we'll do this. That's the service delivery strategy, right? When we sign this, all of the council's approve it, mayor signs it, goes up to Atlanta. It is part of the record. So anybody go pull this up tonight if you want to. But I have chat. I brought it here to the service library. Service will provide countywide, including all cities and unincorporated areas. In developing this strategy, we're overlapping service areas, unnecessary competition identified. Now, this is 2017, right? Technology is improving now in this city and the access to it. But now, everybody, you go to item number 3. See, this right here is when the chickens come home. Because somebody was telling us to have truths. Number 3, list each government or authority that will help to pay for this service and indicate how the service will be funded, e.g. enterprise fund, user fees, general funds, special service district revenue, hotel motel tax, franchise tax, impact fees, bonded indebtedness, etc. You see all those cities and the county listed there? You see what it says, funding method for each city? Y'all see that? It says general fund. Each county, each city, you pay for your share. Right? We don't use Camilla money to go over there and vice versa. It's not how it works. Everybody says you're going to pay your own thing. Here's the part that I want everybody to understand. You see this? You see right here it says, how will the strategy change the previous arrangements for providing or funding this service within the county? You see that box right there? It's empty. List any form of service delivery agreements or intergovernment agreement contracts that will be used to implement the strategy for this service. Y'all see that? It's empty. What other mechanisms, if any, will be used to implement the strategy for this service? Ordinances, resolutions, local actions, general assembly, rate and fee changes, and when will they take effect? Y'all see that? It's empty. There's nothing in there that talks about $15,000 and nothing in there that talks about $40,000. There's nothing there saying if you do that, you're hurting us or any of that kind of stuff. So we had a conversation last week, some of us, we said, yeah, man, what do you want to do? No. Let's wait till the council meeting. Let's wait till the work session. So we can show folks the documents. Now what has happened Like I said before, we love folks down there in Pelican. We love you. But this action, this unprecedented action, has forced us to where we're going to have to rethink a few things. Not in retribution, but in reality. Because even though you don't affect anything over here, the fact that you thought you could dictates, and we're probably going to have to make some changes. And I just want the world and the record to know we didn't start this. This is their decision. And we're going to do what is required here in this city to ensure that if another municipality, entity, organization, individuals believe that they can leverage this city, we're going to make it crystal clear that you are sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. All right, council. Any other comments? All right. So again, council, the motion is to reduce the number of board seats on the library board for the city of Camilla, primarily because of the permanent reduction, the $15,000 pending, and obviously we'll have another discussion in terms of the next budget season, which will be $15,000 or less. But for this tonight, will be to reduce Camilla's board seat to 1, and that seat will be for the mayor. The mayor will attend these meetings going forward. I have a motion to proper second. Any other discussion? All right. Madam Clerk, your roll call.
Councilman Garland,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
No.
Councilman Fowler,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman Palmer,
No.
Mayor votes yes, motion carries. Thank you, council. All right. Ms. City Manager, action items for next week.
Yes, sir. We scroll down.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I just don't see that.
I usually give you my little hint there, but it's all right.
Okay, action items for, next week.
Yes, sir.
Is the MGAG price agreement with Alltech. That's what we do it for them every year.
Indeed.
It's the exact same thing, so they can do their budgeting.
All right. So council, as city manager has pointed out, and I want to thank, City Manager Stroud, who worked extremely hard in negotiating this, about a year and a half ago. We have a company that will say, listen, our bill is, we can't guess what it's going to be every month. And City Manager Stroud sat down with those folks, sat down with the folks with MGAG and worked this out. So now they know what their bill is going to be every month. And they are a huge, I think they're one of our largest gas purchasers, if you will. So it's working out great for them. It's working out great for us as a city. So council, are there at least 3 council members that would like to keep this as an action item for next week? All right, thank you. All right, Mr.
All right, next item, Mr. Mayor, is resolution number 2024-04-08-1, Georgia Cities Week. resolution of the City of Camilla recognizing Georgia City's Week, April 21st through 27th, and encouraging all residents to support the celebration. I submitted for the packet, they sent it, and so it depends on what the body says.
Indeed, and council will get into that, next week, but, and then appreciate
Yes, sir.
in the interim, are there at least 3 council members that would like to keep this as an action item for next week? All right, thank you. All right, and now to the, discussion item, City Manager.
Yes, sir.
Young item 5, discussion items, gaming trailer rental, and have the Williams, so patiently sitting there in the gallery. So council, as you can see from the proposal, submitted by them, they have a gaming trailer, and with unanimous consent, I'd like to ask Mr. Williams to step up if he doesn't mind. Or the Williamses, or Mrs. Williams. And I'll owe y'all about 15 push-ups when the meeting is over, but I didn't tell them they were coming up here, so there it is. How many consoles or stations do you have?
We currently have, 5 TVs, 4 consoles at this time, with 2 controllers per console.
And how many, if it was full, kids are in there playing, how many kids can you have in there at one time?
Actively playing, we can have, 8 right now. The 5th console is coming on the way. So that would take it up to 10, but we can hold, about 15.
Perfect. And again, the whole idea of this consideration, council, and for the public, is that when we have our citywide events, of course, we got the bounce houses out there for the kids, this type of thing, but I think this is another way to add another element of entertainment for the kids, in the gaming trailers. And talking to, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, the idea would be, the games that will be played will be primarily sports games, but non-violent games, if you will, that these kids can enjoy while we out listening to Westlove or whoever, they come on down, you know what I mean? When they come off the water slide. So, the fee, that I think was quoted was it $200 or $300 for 6 hours?
For 2 hours,
For 2 hours.
each additional hour.
100, okay. So, yeah, so about $600 if we do it for 6 hours, thereabouts.
6, 700.
Yes, ma'am. So council, there's probably about 5 or 6 events that we have per year that we can bring the kids in, or created events to where it's primarily a kid event, if you will. This is another indication of trying to get our kids involved in what we're doing here in the city. And it's a very creative way, and when you consider this type of technology, gaming is key. So council, based on the proposal that you have in your packet, and just one other question, Ms. Williams. Setup time. So from pull up to kids are ready to get on the console, how long does that take?
Anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
15 to 30 minutes, perfect. All right, in terms of power, what kind of power are you using? Is it batteries, is it you have to hook up to?
It's generator.
It's a generator.
It's a generator.
How long does your generator go for?
16 hours.
16 hours. Okay.
We
16
just
hours.
purchased a few ones.
There are 16 hours. All right. So council, I'm not asking you to approve this tonight. What I am asking is there at least 3 council members that will move this forward as a potential action item for next week. And what that will do is give us a week to have some further conversations with Mr. and Mr. Williams to see exactly what we're working with. And, you know, we can make a decision from there. So at this time, Council, any questions for Mr. Williams?
Well, one thing I'm gonna say, I know the Williams quite well. They're great citizens in this community. Children are drawn to them. So I think this right here will be a great thing for the city once we have events, and I think they'll do quite well with that.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Council, I'll be honest with you now, if someone wants to make a motion to vote on this evening, we can do that, or we can kick it next Thursday, next Monday. It's up to you.
I think that, definitely, with having a recent discussion with colleagues, and potential of where we're going with the, next budget season, and just even quite frankly, with it, just carry out the rest of this year, with things that will be going on, that this will be something that will be, definitely beneficial to the quality of life and to make it those events even come more to light when you talk about the aspects of the children side of it. I think that they bring great, potential to, what could be, with this gaming, children. So I'm definitely in agreement with it. And what, I guess it would take us amending the agenda,
Yes, sir.
to add this to the action item. And
Indeed.
at this time, I would, ask to amend the agenda to, add this to an action item, on tonight. I make the motion.
I second.
All right, we have a motion properly second. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
I don't think this is a good idea. The children need to be out in sunshine and fresh air. They get enough gaming at home, wherever else they go to. And when they're outside, they need to be not involved in gaming. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
Yes, sir. Any other comments? All right. So council, the motion is to amend tonight's agenda to add consideration of the gaming contract with Rock Vanessa Williams for a fee for the stated fee presented in the proposal. This will be a paid per event, if you will, and I think just for you guys to see what we look like the first couple times around. But again, this is just to amend the agenda, just to put it on the agenda to vote for tonight. All right, we have a motion to properly second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? All opposed? Mayor votes yes. Motion carries. Thank you, council. Council, at this time, is there a motion to approve the proposal submitted by Mr. and Mrs. Williams to contractor services for gaming trailer for citywide events at the stated rate as a per event contract? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion properly second. Any other discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, is your roll call.
Councilman Burley,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
No.
Councilman Fowler,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman Palmer.
No.
Mayor votes yes, motion carries. Congratulations, and thank y'all. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Item 2, spay and neuter program. So council, obviously with our animal control program is extremely successful. It is amazing what we're doing. Luke White, Sheriff Ford,
completely and unequivocally knocking it out of the park, as it relates to this. But part of animal control is animal control, right? The idea is we want a safe environment for these animals and a safe environment for our community. One way of doing that is a spay and neuter program, and including that in our ordinances and programs to help incentivize folks getting their animals taken care of in terms of the inability to breed uncontrollably here in the city. Because what ends up happening is we end up getting these cute puppies. And I gotta tell Sheriff Ford, she can't take all of them home. But, so we owe it better. We owe it to the animals. We owe it to the community to see what we can do to responsibly control the population here in the city, especially when we're talking about our strays. So council, what I'm asking is there are at least 3 council members that will authorize, or not authorize, but is good with having our city attorney, let me back up. Are there at least 3 council members to move this to an action item for next week? And any information that we can get for next week as it relates to this, I don't think we'll have that ordinance by that time. But I think next week I will ask you to authorize our city attorney to start getting that paperwork together and what that will look like legally for us to do that. So with that, council, are there at least 3 council members that would agree to move this as an action item for next week that will potentially authorize our city attorney to start digging into this for us? All right, thank you, council. Item 3, utility credit update, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council, based on what we believe about 18,000 residents at $100 a pop, that give us about $180,000. Staff has already prepared to spring this into action. Subject to your approval, we're gonna kick it off at cycle 7, just like we've done before, to start applying those credits, pending your approval.
Yeah, and Mr. City Manager, you mentioned 18,000, so 1,800.
1,800.
1,800. This is for, I said if we roll 3. Yeah, but no, so 1,800 residences, about $180,000. Mr. City Manager, you already have the authority. So right now, at this juncture, is administratively, it is your, what's the word I want to look for? At your discretion, sir.
We'll pull the trigger in the morning, guys. We're good.
Good deal. All right, so for the citizens of the city, what that means to you, or means to you, for you anyway, is probably here in the next 30 to 45 days, you're gonna see a $100 electric bill credit on your bill. This is the second deal that we've done. The first time was $300. And I anticipate that we will get this type of consideration every single year as it relates to you in all that you do. So, and yeah, so appreciate that, Mr. City Manager.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions from City Manager?
The remaining amount from this, is that going restricted or flexible?
This month, that's flexible, but
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it's coming from the resources we have on the ground. So we're not gonna pull any money down. We already got it here. Right. Yes, sir. And then, from what I'm looking here, council members, the last item, for discussion item, anyway, before we get to other, is the drone program update. So council, I am happy to tell you that at least 3 of our
youth council members have agreed to be part of, all right? Agreed to be part of the top drone program here in the city of Camilla. And what that means is, we're gonna have at least 3 youth council members who will get trained and receive their FAA certified commercial drone license. And the idea is to leverage that knowledge and that skill. We talk a lot here in this building about, and we've been doing a lot, but one piece, the backbone of our economy here in Southwest Georgia is agriculture. And we believe that drone operations as relates to crop health will be huge and extremely cost effective for our food producers here in this region. And because of the type of training that these kids are going to get, it's also good for infrastructure training. Why is this important? The airport in the city of Camilla lost $200,000 last year. Now, we made some adjustments on the personnel side that will reduce that at the end of this fiscal year. But based on our last audit, probably one of our only local business that lost that kind of money. By the way, as Councilman Pollard pointed out, we ate that, even though the entire county and region benefits from the airport. City of Camilla did that. And we will continue to do it, but with some changes. This drone program, because we're not going to be able to sell enough fuel to make up $200,000. So we have to start doing innovative things to start putting money towards that line item. One of that is drone operations. And what a better way to engage our youth, not only for the purpose of doing this for our food producers here in the city and in the county and the region, quite frankly, but that FAA drone certification is theirs. We're going to create 3 brand new entrepreneurs with that training. And in 2024, and I can tell you from experience, you walking around here with an FAA certified drone license in your pocket, you are a valuable commodity. These are the things that we're going to have to start doing in this city, and we're doing them right now. And that is to be innovative and leveraging STEM technology. And our new resource center is going to be a hub for that type of training and technology. Big things are coming to this city, everybody. So, council, I'm asking there are at least 3 council members that will move this to an action item for next Monday. And the primary thing you're going to be voting on is the new Top Drone, City of Camilla Top Drone program. The logo and some other information related to that. You've already approved, you've already allocated funds to get the program started, but we're going to have an official logo for these kids to have, and also to start getting them ready for training. So it'll be some pretty rigorous training for them, but I was with them Saturday afternoon, and these kids are hyped and ready to get in this program. So there are at least 3 council members to move this to an action item for next week. All right, thank you, council. All right, so at this time, council, we've reached item 6, other, any comments or additions for the council?
I have one. I've been waiting to get a meeting with our Boys and Girls Club director just to talk about redeploying our youth employment program. Had a great conversation today. Councilman Polly and myself were there. Just to hear the amount of kids that have been serviced and just the outcomes of this program. I'm looking forward to an opportunity just to re-engage it again. And at this point, just looking for a consensus to add this to next week's item $100,000 reallocation of funds so that they can begin to prepare and recruit and solicit applications for kids, again, age 14 through 19, to gain gainful employment again. And that funding source is ARPA as well.
All right. So yeah, we can definitely use a portion of that. The ARPA and I would argue probably EAC, economic development, as part of that. But dual, to say the least. We just finished our audit, we just had a great phone call with the auditor again today. Basically, we have the resources available for that. So yeah, and if you don't mind, just pick it back up that just real quick. I use the term economic development. Let me hypothetically, so that folks understand when we're talking, so everybody can understand why having kids 14 and 19 years old gainfully employed over the summer for the Boys and Girls Club, which is gonna have kids there all day and helping to support those kids, helping to feed those kids, all of that, the benefit that has to this community, give these kids a sense of work ethic, and an opportunity to add a couple dollars to the household, which in turn comes right back to the city. So I'm sure everybody can see the economic development in that. But there was a question posed recently. Well, you know what, let me not piggyback off your deal there. Let me do that, but I think I will bring this up. So there are these three council members. I want to move the youth employment program funding and allocation to next Monday's council meeting. At least three council members. All right, thank you, council.
But man, I do have something.
Yes, sir.
In that conversation also, rightfully so, and just hearing me speak, this is being administered by Boys and Girls Club, but it is for all nonprofit organizations within the Mitchell County. However, a big takeaway that I took from the director, in which she really painted the picture and did an excellent job with just talking and talking about the program and how it worked and benefit, and a great benefit that I took from it. Not only when I think about the economic parts of it, but she also told us in that conversation that they were able to employ themselves. After they left the program, they was able to hire these kids and we're young adults now in their rightful place as an employee of that company. So it was like a win-win situation for not only the nonprofit, the city, the students, the young adults, the homes. We all benefit. And that's when we talk about economic. When I think about economic, how it turns, it continues to flow. What better way to describe it? They was able to attain employees that we know in today's time, we struggle with trying to find employees. But they was able to get those that came through the program and say, hey, I want to employ you. Because you put in the work, I see the work, you know how to do the job, and guess what? I don't have to train you no more. It's already done. That's a win-win situation. But we're able to put these kids and these young adults in those scenarios where they can also prosper. Because like when I say, you'd be surprised how many go to bed hungry. But we're able to put them in a position where they're able to provide a help with the home in many ways that you probably wouldn't imagine. But it was just a thought it was the due diligence of a visionary. These things don't happen by circumstances, but you definitely have to be intentional. But when you're intentional and you can visualize beyond yourself and your benefit, so we can make these kind of moves and be glad about it, and even talk about it. This is real life stuff, effective real life people every day. And so that's our call, is to be intentional. I think what we do around this table, we do it to be intentional. We don't do it for show, but intentional. And that's what set this city apart from the rest. We're intentional. But every move we make up here. Bring it back.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any comments, so we'll have it on the deal.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Second.
Do you mind if I?
Yeah.
Let me, let me get you set up real quick. All yours, sir.
This is all right.
We can, sir. Sir.
While they wait for updates, they want to go to their shows. All right.
It's only about 5%.
Really?
Yeah.
I can do my best, but I really.
See, sure. Oh, let me see if I can. Okay, I thought it's pretty much up there, right?
Yeah. Just, it keeps happening.
It's updated. I saw that orange line, I thought I could do something.
It stopped.
Yeah. It's fine. You sure?
Yeah, I can shoot this around everybody too. It's just a link of what it is.
That TV wants to update.
Councilmember, if you'd like, I can do my other while it updates, and by the time I finish, you'll be ready.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not.
Is that all
That's
right?
fine.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
The plat that you have in front of you guys is from Miss Sarah Butler's estate. We lost her a while back, and her brother, the executive of her estate, is trying to get her property sold. But we wound up, we realized that when they did the renovations on her house, they extended her house about 6 foot into the alley that City of Camilla owns. And so he did the proper survey for us. We realize now that it is on our property. So I bring that to you tonight because we have no utilities in there. That's not the problem. The problem is he wants to sell it, and obviously he can't sell it because the house is on our property. And so I bring that to you because he's gonna be asking for some sort of resolution on how to sell that property. Councilman Walker, I gave you 2 minutes.
Let's see if it pops back on. Okay.
All right, Councilman, we'll try one more time, see if we got it. You got it?
Let's try. Let's see.
There you go.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So, this next piece is an opportunity to engage clinical refreshes, grow your own gardens of the community. And again, we made options here in Camilla as outlined in our updated comp plan from 2 years ago. So in addition to allocating funding for our farmers market that we are still exploring, also want to explore additional strategies to help our citizens prepare for a more sustainable future and increase access to fresh foods. So what I'm seeking, again, is ARPA allocations to assist with this program. I'm gonna blow up how this program is currently working. They actually just launched an initiative with Sumter County. And again, this group, it's a nonprofit, Farmer Frito is his name. And what they'll do is actually come to your property and install a raised garden bed, equip it with fresh plants, and then residents of these households will have access to this group just for ongoing support just throughout the year. And if you just need guidance on what to plant next, or there's any issues with your placement, there's some engagement or assistance there. And so he gave me an estimate of about $250 to almost $300 per household just to start these up. And again, this is just our commitment to making sure that our residents constantly and always have access to these fresh foods. Again, one of the goals he has in mind with this is just to teach people how to grow their own gardens and really provide for themselves long term in an environment where most people sometimes have trouble accessing grocery stores, or if they're just low on resources in general. These are a great way for our communities to just prepare for the future themselves. And I was hoping that we could get it started here soon, but he's thinking that we can get you started later in the summer. But what I wanted to do is go ahead and appropriate the funding so that we can begin coordinating and planning and making sure that Camilla has as much of an awesome situation as Sumter County does.
Okay. Let me ask you, what is the possibility of scaling this to create a community garden? So maybe not necessarily individual households per se, but something where the community can come as a group and tend. What do you think?
The only issue with that, from the research that I've done, and even just talking with him too, people are slowly getting away from that because that does take a commitment from the communities itself. Someone has to be in charge of that upkeep.
Sure.
So if we kind of start just teaching people themselves, this is new for Camilla overall. You know, I think even in our comp plan, what we're trying to do is really educate our community on this. This is new. You know, with further training on it, I think then maybe we could move to a more community garden aspect.
Okay. And what's the ask then?
55 G's.
55,000?
55,000, yep.
Yeah,
our funding.
Yeah. Okay. So if, well, first let me say that I think that is an awesome program. An awesome program. And by that math, it's about 183 households. I think it's a worthy deal. You never come here with something that ain't worthy, you feel? So this is worthy. what if we were to move this to an action item for next week? But in terms of the allocation, because I think we're probably, I think we have about 200,000 or 300,000. Actually, I'll take that back, probably about 80,000 on that, that hasn't been allocated as it relates to art. But if we were to move it to an action item, but scale it down, if you will, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I would just want to confirm what, Flint River Fresh's fee will be too.
Okay.
With that. Yeah, before. So I could have that final amount prior to this next meeting, as well, but yeah. I want to confirm what they will have a service fee, as well. The 200 estimate was just for setup, and the material. For each household.
Okay. Yeah, I think with, how big is this outfit?
Staff wise, he did mention he does have a small team, so they also, a part of this long-term, this planning that we'll have to do is, try to get our County FFA and some other, maybe even youth council, others involved, in this to kind of assist, with those pieces too. I think no less than seven staff members that he has.
Okay. So considering that's enough funding for about 183 homes, considering the staff, if we were to give a nice little pilot program, starting off, I think it's something that needs to be made an action item next week. I agree with you on that. But maybe over the next week, we just kind of talk about what that, and our actually looks like. Yes.
Do we provide all of the plants and things of that nature? What plants do we provide?
I think it depends on the season.
So there are going to be multiple things in this garden.
Yep.
And what's the ask, as of now, as it pertains to Mondays night? What is the ask?
Yeah, he was saying 55,000. Oh, I see what you're saying. To allocate
Yeah,
the
the
funds.
To
Yeah,
allocate the funds.
that's right. And the reason why with ARPA is just a little tricky because we are approaching the mandatory allocation of it. So if we allocate that amount of money, but it takes some time, if you will, to move that forward, then what we call the federal government is locked at that point. So I think that what you are suggesting, we need to do that. I think it would be doggone awesome to do it here in the city. But I think that if, that there may be some consideration or conversation as it relates to, scaling it down, to allocate a fair amount, to get us started, maybe,
I'll just piggyback off of that fair amount, that also, when we come to the realm of partnership, I think there is a ramification for partnership along with the Camilla Housing Authority, that we can possibly have a conversation with partnership, because I also saw something similar to that, where it was doing it, power plants, but it was actually going into the 5-gallon buckets, teach them how to do that in individual homes. So I think there's a lot of conversation there, and frankly, I do agree with you, that this is something that will be beneficial to the community, but I think there's also a level of partnership that we can also, go in with this as well, to provide that excellent service, because sure, we don't want to put a service out there that's not being, but again, if it benefits one, we could reach our potential goal in mind, just what you said, but maybe this small portion, if we can get a conversation ahead and partner with others to bring it to a bigger scale. But I do agree that, and that's only because of the allocation of what we do have left in ARPA. Considering those things, then I'm certain it's probably didn't know about what you had. Yeah, left that out. Okay.
Councilmember, if I may, the community, have we got to that point where we've solicited them to see if they're gonna be putting the manual labor to keep these plants up?
Yes, I would say from our survey, even with the farmer market.
Awesome, awesome.
And I will also take it back to, actually in our district and in our communities, we see these things happening already.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I know over in the North Chester home, we got several over there that does planning.
Does that sound good? Would it share like an updated price by end of the week?
Indeed, but we need to vote on this, I think it's important. So council, at least 3 council members, have this as an action item for next week, pending, future more information. Okay, good deal, thank you. Yes. There you go. And there was what's the title of it, the name of it?
This was Flint River Fresh, grow your own groceries.
Flint River Fresh. Yes, sir. Sir.
What I was just thinking, just got mentioned also when the opportunity, we talk about the spray and neuter, the animal control and stuff. I was just thinking, visioning a world of partnership and a world of just carrying our kids to a place which we know that our youth and our future, it lies within the knowledge and power that we give our youth now today. Where we go from there, and I can just imagine, in my mind, our better areas. When we think about all the youth employment that we're doing with our local schools and different things, programs that we're actually putting forward the youth initiative. When I think about all those things, what we can imagine, we're raising not just top pilots for drone commercial, but what we got doctors, veterinarians, right out here being based out of the city of Camilla. We can attain those people right here in the city of Camilla. That opportunity to be a doctor. Getting them ready for what is to come. If I decide this is what I want to do, I can now have an opportunity to make that decision whether or not I want to make that my career or not. These are the unlimited possibilities that are happening when we think of this, when we think about others, when we think about what is the next move, growing our economy, growing the people. When you start to think about those things, it becomes at no price. But it's become the right thing to do. Because I can only imagine this stuff when you retired, that you was ready for someone else to come up behind you, that you were growing somebody else to come up and follow behind you. So just imagine we got a world, a city doing the same thing. That's all we're doing. Hey, we just want somebody else to step up and be as productive as anybody else. Those are just the things that I can see happening. Yes.
And I know you don't normally want us to speak from here, but
And you can't. So, but
Well,
what I'll
I'm
do,
afraid that-
ma'am, so what I'll do, Councilman, Madam Attorney, are you still there with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
So, Councilman Pollard brings up an excellent point related to the, we've been operating using our nonprofits for our youth employment program. Is it possible, and because we've already had this program, is it possible to have a look at, is there a way to pull in more commercial-based businesses to where these kids could go and work, and the city supplement through our youth employment program, that employment? So they go work at a doctor's office, or go work at a, or, somewhere other than a nonprofit. We've been using ARPA money for that, and we're probably using some economic development funds for that. But what are your thoughts, or what do you think?
I mean, I don't, at first, not glanced, but kind of thought about it, I wouldn't see an issue if the city set up, some type of programming that kind of, spoke to, different career paths and, the young people involved in the program could see those career paths through under the nonprofit in partnership with businesses. I just don't see an issue that immediately jumps out at me. We can most certainly take a look at it just to see if anything, if there's anything that, might not pass a smell test, but right now, I don't see an issue if the city has a structured program, and you're partnering with these, local organizations, whether they're, commercial or, public sector organizations, to establish, education and a future for the young people in the program.
Good deal. That's fairly awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So council, is there any other comments? All right. So council, what I want to do, as I mentioned earlier, this will be pretty quick, but I think it's important. Because these were action items, and I'm going to read these proclamations into the record real quick. This is proclamation for Autism Acceptance Month for the month of April. Whereas the city of Camilla, the city is guided by the principles of inclusivity and in its commitment to help improve the lives of all individuals in the diverse community we serve. And whereas autism impacts people regardless of race, ethnicity, and social economic backgrounds. And whereas while conditions characterized with autism may challenge communication, social skills, and behavior, individuals with autism benefit from specialized services and community support to ensure their health, safety, and full participation in community life. And whereas the city recognizes the importance of creating spaces that, beyond acceptance, provide opportunities for representation, celebration, and the ability to achieve the highest possible quality of life for all autistic groups. And whereas in the month of April, we will strive to promote autism awareness, inclusion, and acceptance, and the city is committed to providing equitable access to services, events, and activities that support opportunities for all autistic individuals to reach their full potential. And whereas the city is committed to creating a socially conscious community that values and celebrates the autism spectrum disorder community. Now therefore, the mayor and city council of the city of Camilla does hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 to be designated as Autism Acceptance Month in the city of Camilla, and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, elected leaders, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families in autism spectrum disorder community. In which thereof I have thereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Camilla, Georgia to be fixed this first day of April in the year of our Lord 2024. Kevin Morris, Mayor. And again, everybody, a proclamation for the city of Camilla for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas children are vital to our state's future success, prosperity, and quality of life, as well as being our most vulnerable assets. And whereas all children deserve to have a safe, stable, nurturing home and communities they serve, they need to foster their healthy growth and development. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a community responsibility affecting both the current and future quality of life of a community. And whereas communities that provide parents with social support, knowledge of parenting and child development, and concrete resources they need to cope with stress and nurture their children, ensure all children grow to their full potential. And whereas effective child abuse prevention strategies succeed because of partnerships created among citizens, human service agencies, schools, faith communities, healthcare providers, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and business communities. Now therefore, the mayor and city council of the city of Camilla, Georgia, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Camilla, and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities,
elected leaders and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the community in which we live. And with this whereof, I have thereto set my hand and cause the city of Camilla, Georgia to be affixed this first day of April in the year of our Lord, 2024, Kevin Lawrence Mayor. All right, council, thank you so much for that. And at this time, council, it appears that we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching at home.
I was just gonna tell you, Farmer Toto, we work with him with the school system, and we planted boxes. And what we planted, we used in our south, we planted romaine, lettuce, and carrots. and- We did with the county school.
This is all well, thank you.
Oh, and it's been clean,
Yeah.
so it has no smell.
Thank you so much.
And
Yes.
Come on, here it is.
it's honorable.
Come on.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
All right, bro, good to see you.
Okay, you do the same, you do the same.
So, elderly somewhere, folks in the community. Yes, sir, right now, Ms. Carol has a dream, so we can scout it.
Okay.
You want my list?
Yes, sir.
She probably left when we said.
Well, yeah, I'll reach out to you at one of the,
Yes, I'm still here.
Hey, thank you so much. And we'll have a question for
We'll
you
be out
Probably this
rocking chair.
related to this property
Okay.
that is in the alleyway.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good. Thank you.
You take care. Just thank you, my friend.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will definitely we can definitely take a look into that. I was listening, and so it sounds super interesting.
Alicia, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, that works.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Sure, you don't froze me. You don't froze me with the air. You don't froze me with the air. Let me pull over here. I didn't put my jacket on, but I saw Mary laying on the back of the chair. I know, he got it on.
Right.
So I say, you fooled me this time.
And that's, you know what?
What's up?
I forgot to do the retroactive on the bereavement deal. Yes, sir. We approved it, but we didn't back it up. I was gonna back it up to Colonel Kathleen's repass.
But we're meeting next month.